Let's get it on!
Sprawl and brawl, ground and pound. Get ready for an MMA showdown. Now, the ultimate Octagon Insider, Sean and Tristan Ducross.
What is up, everybody? We are the Ducross Brothers Sports Warriors. I'm glad you guys could join us on a special night, on a Friday night, because as you guys all are aware, we were supposed to do our show on Wednesday. We couldn't because we had something that we had to take care of personal-wise, but we are back tonight. So thank you to everybody that is tuning into us right now on Friday. Appreciate it. Why do I hear feedback? Let me check. See if anybody else is hearing feedback. Bear with me, guys, real quick, because I don't want you guys to listen to a show and there's feedback. All right. Let me see here. All right. Let's see if that's gone. All right. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to us. We're the Ducross Brothers Sports Warriors. I'm Tristan Ducross. Along my side, as always, my brother, Sean Ducross. Huge, incredible show for you guys tonight. So I hope you guys kick back, pop a beer, whatever you guys need to do to chill out, enjoy some combat sports talk with your boys. Sean, so big news coming out over the weekend. Two huge topics that not a lot of people are really talking about, which is kind of surprising, I think.
I think they were more talked about initially and then kind of faded away a little bit. And
kind of fizzled a little bit?
And I think that's where we're at right now, is that it faded away a little bit. And now we're trying to kick the tires a little bit because they are interesting topics. And when you talk about Michael Chandler, people tend to sweep him underneath the rug because he's from Bellator and he signed with the UFC.
Yeah, so that's one. As Sean just alluded to,
I don't think that's fair.
Is that Michael Chandler is UFC bound.
Yes.
So Michael Chandler has officially signed on the dotted line, correct? He is UFC through and through. That's a done deal. So now we look at Michael Chandler and what are the possibilities of him going and making a big, huge impact for the UFC. Do you think this is a good signing by the UFC or a good signing in theory by Michael Chandler? Like, did it run its course officially, run its course in Bellator?
I don't think it necessarily ran its course in Bellator. It just, when you've done and accomplished as much as Michael Chandler has done in the lightweight division of Bellator, there's only so much you could do. Think about it as the Eddie Alvarez syndrome. Eddie Alvarez did everything he could possibly do for Bellator in the lightweight division. There was nothing left for him to do. He built that division with Michael Chandler.
This is true.
If you look at the list of combatants in Bellator in the lightweight division, there's not really a lot of people to write off about. Even though if you ask Patricio Pitbull, he's like, dude, I blasted him. But
basically he said that you get scraps.
So in this point, but the only downside is that Patricio hasn't even fought him yet. So that fight is never going to happen.
Correct.
So the discussion is always going to be between those two, who's actually better, because of the fact that they never got a chance to fight. That's always going to be one of the questions because the feud and the rivalry was so prominent in Bellator for a number of years, especially in the last, 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah,
between
easily.
those two.
Yep.
So for that fight not to happen, you think about all those years that Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao didn't fight. And in order to be the greatest, you had to take it as he never fought Manny Pacquiao in his prime. Now, not to say that Patricio is that level, and not to take anything away from the UFC fighters, because I was smirking that when you said, "Well, look at the people in the lightweight division," is because that was already on my book. Is that's murders in a row. If you look at the lightweight division versus the lightweight division of Bellator,
just the top guys that have been recently mentioned. Okay, Justin Gaethje, who's going against Khabib for the title, right?
yeah,
Tony Ferguson, Dustin Poirier, who were in theory in talks about fighting each other. That fell through. Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler fell through. Conor McGregor is still an honorable mention regardless of what anybody says. He is still out there, right?
yep.
You mentioned Eddie Alvarez. Eddie Alvarez being the guy that was the first person to kind of jump shift and jump over to the UFC, right? He had an okay run, nothing spectacular, right? Wouldn't you say? For going 4-4 in the UFC, nothing to really go home about. Will Brooks, another guy that was a mainstay in Bellator, right? This monster, this guy that could take on anybody and beat anybody at will, right?
Yep.
Will Brooks. Hottest free agent. UFC plucks him. 1-3, bounced. Michael Chandler, 21-5. The accolades are there.
But to see, I always thought that Michael Chandler had better striking than Will Brooks.
I think, yeah, and I almost
Even
think
though
that his wrestling's better.
If you looked on paper, though, Will Brooks gave one of the defeats on Michael Chandler's record. It was Will Brooks. And then you look at the interesting comparison because Kevin Lee came out and says, "Oh, Michael Chandler's too small."
Can Kevin Lee really talk? This guy has a losing record in his last couple of fights.
But if you
2-3 in his last 5, I think, something like that.
But if you look at it, it's like Michael Chandler's fought some 5'10" guys. Yeah, you know what? Most notable fights: Benson Henderson, 5'9", Patricky, 5'7". He's fought some little guys. But he's also fought some big guys.
Yeah, is he a little undersized? Sure. But he makes it up for with skill and technique and heart.
Absolutely. And power. Let's not forget power.
I would not put it past Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's makeup is so much different than an Eddie Alvarez or a Will Brooks, right? You could say that. I look at the murders row though, and that scares me.
And that's
he's a backup fight to the Justin Gaethje and Khabib fight.
You can't say it any different. You can't say that you're looking at the lightweight division of the UFC that is not murderer's row. It's ridiculous. The amount of strikers in that. I mean, you've got Kevin Lee, who we just mentioned. You've got a number of other guys that it's going to take a minute for him to go through that if he's fighting. And then you talk about how this fight even happened, about how he became the backup plan to Khabib and Justin Gaethje. Whichever one falls out, he slides right into the fight. But that only happened because Dustin Poirier and Tony Ferguson fight fell through.
And then it was offered Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. But again, one thing you need to know about the UFC, Sean, is that if money becomes an issue, right? I honestly believe that you're never going to go to the UFC and say, I want X, Y, and Z. I want this amount of money. Because UFC has always been the staple where they go, this is what we're paying you. This is what you're going to get. There's not a whole lot of wiggle room between them and their fighters. And usually, they're the first ones that says, okay, you can kick bricks. You can get going.
But you know what's interesting is that you talk about the money situation. And it's quick to everybody to report about Dustin Poirier saying that he turned it down because, they couldn't come to terms on the financial status of it. But also, too, it's like if you listen to Dustin Poirier said that, it was just out of loyalty to Tony Ferguson. Excuse you? Like, really? We're going with that line. We're going with the fact that you and Tony Ferguson couldn't agree on pay, and that fight fell through, that this one's not about pay, and you did it because you want to fight Tony Ferguson still, and in hopes that that deal gets done. That makes no logical sense to me whatsoever. When I read that, I was like, I'm so discombobulated right now. Like, it made literally no sense for that statement. And I was trying to figure out, like, how does it even make sense? How do we even pivot where that's justifiable? I could not physically find an outcome of how that statement made sense.
Neither could I.
I was so confused.
But where do you, at the end of this, Sean, Michael Chandler in the UFC, what do you think his ceiling is in the UFC? Is it champion? Middle of the pack contender? Or a gatekeeper in the division?
I'm going to go with the consensus. And that is that Michael Chandler will be a UFC champion at some point. It just depends who's at the top of the food chain.
Does Justin Gaethje secure the bag against Khabib? Because that's the only person I could think he could have a shot against. I don't like the wrestling that Khabib has versus Michael Chandler.
See, and when you talk about Khabib, you talk about a world-class wrestler. You talk about a decent striker. So if you look at all those, does Michael Chandler have plus over that? If you were looking at a tail of the tape, left and right, and you're looking at it, okay? So the striking of Khabib, striking of Michael Chandler.
Michael Chandler.
Wrestling, Khabib, Michael Chandler.
Slight edge to Khabib.
You're looking at
apples and oranges at this point.
Yeah, and you're looking at a guy that
an off day he could walk in there and take the strap.
But if you look at the other guys at the top of the food chain, okay? Is he a better striker than Justin Gaethje? Hell no. Hell no.
He doesn't have the power that Gaethje has.
Gaethje is a mismatch for anybody because of his all-around ability. So while I say that, yes, I see that Michael Chandler will eventually be a UFC champion. In order for him to do that, he's got to avoid Khabib. He's got to avoid a Justin Gaethje.
But the only way he does that is if Khabib leaves us and he's gone and Gaethje is somewhere else.
So, is he a gatekeeper? No. But in some sense, he may, because he's going to be like Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah, the middle of the pack guy that could kind of be a contender.
He's going to get that one opportunity. He's going to make the most of his opportunity. He's going to get a title at some point. He's going to be the guy at the right place at the right time in the right moment. That's what happened with Eddie Alvarez when he claimed his first UFC title. Right place, right moment, right opponent. Then the next one with Conor McGregor, wrong opponent.
Destroyed.
That's the same level we're going with Michael Chandler. He's going to get his opportunity at the right time, at the right place, at the right moment. But then he's going to get the wrong opponents at the wrong time, at the wrong place. And if that's the case, we may very well see another Il Brooks. And yeah, you know what? Me just talking this out loud, just talked my own prediction right out the window.
It happens. It happens. When you're discussing a topic as such, and you're laying out all the facts, and you're laying out all the straight down the pipe kind of decisions that are going to be made that could be there, and it is really hard to think that he's going to be at the top of the food chain and be able to sustain his greatness that he had in Bellator. And don't get me wrong, I like Michael Chandler. I think the guy is a great fighter. In the UFC, in this division, it's tough
Right?
It's really
It
tough.
was ridiculous how I go from one prediction to like, and no. Like, I like Michael Chandler. We've had a chance to speak to him on our show. Genuinely a good dude. Dude, a beast of a dude.
I almost thought about texting Chandler, congratulating him that he even got this. At the same time, I'm like, bro, I'm about to talk about you on my show, and I'm like, I'm teeter-tottering whether or not you're gonna be this guy that like you were in Bellator and you could do the same thing in UFC. And I can't see it.
Well,
I can't.
Well, the thing is that Michael Chandler does not lack confidence.
Yes,
Michael Chandler came out and said that I am who I am.
No
I am
question.
who I say I am,
Yep.
or I'm not. That could potentially be the best line ever.
Yes, because that will be the staple that he will live by, the moniker that he will live by going into the UFC.
You know, that
But
should be a shirt. I am who I say I am, or
Unless I'm not.
You could not have a better tagline.
I mean, dude, Sean, anybody that's tuning into us right now will understand that our tagline is cross the line. We are the New Cross Brothers. So the new viewers that are tuning into us right now, that was on you this time, that are tuning into us right now will understand that we are 100% transparent. We are who we are. And if we're not, then we're not who we say we are. And that'll be something that you and I will never be. We will be exactly who we are. And you like us or you don't. And that's cool. Everybody has their own cup of tea. And that's awesome. To the people that's tuning into us, thank you for hitting that donate button. Appreciate the love and respect.
Got to give a shout out to whoever donates. And
Yes.
gives us a thumbs up, likes what we're doing.
Hit 'em.
Dave with the Dolphins. Thank you very much.
Hey, for the Dolphins, if you're a Dolphin fan, please, can you just start Tua Vailoa? Please. I'm so tired of seeing Fitz with the beard, him throwing 600 touchdowns to the wrong team. This guy loves to throw the football, and I get it, but man, they need to just start looking to the future.
You know who's trying to throw touchdowns right now and trying to catch a break? Floyd Mayweather or Logan Paul, whichever way you want to look at it.
I was going to say Logan Paul.
Because it's being discussed right now that it has been agreed upon that we will get Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Logan Paul in an expedition boxing bout.
Why? Like, this is what bugs me, okay?
Mike Feinberg from the Fighting News has reported that he has seen an agreement officially assigned by Floyd Mayweather's camp and Logan Paul. But Logan Paul has spoken to TMZ.
I've been calling for this cat for a fight.
And Logan Paul was on TMZ. I was like, wait, what? He was denying all reports, but Mike Feinberg
Give me a Paul brother.
is reporting.
Give me a Paul brother.
Like, geez, Louise.
The Duke Cross brothers versus the Paul brothers.
You're still on that kick. That
Yes.
ain't never going to happen. You're
All
talking
day.
about
Get this to go viral.
If you're talking about small guys, we're small.
I don't care.
We're 5'9".
Bro, I don't care.
Well, they're gonna care when they're like 6'2", and we're
Cool.
We're like $150.
Hey, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the dog. Whatever that saying is.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
Yeah, whatever. You get the gist.
I
You
do.
get the point.
But you make no sense.
Hey, call me Michael Chandler. I'm small in stature, but I can go up against the big fellas and take them down. Chop them at the knees. I can do it.
Well,
Logan Paul, calling for you, YouTubers. God. I was okay with Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, Sean.
We knew that Floyd Mayweather was coming out of retirement, last year?
Yes. But, Sean, I'm okay with Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. I was okay with that fight.
Absolutely.
I was okay with the thought of Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., right?
Yeah.
Okay with that.
Yeah.
What I'm not okay with is why are you, to me, this comes off like it's a laughing stock. It's a joke. Because I'm okay with YouTubers fighting YouTubers, right? The Zone, Matchbox, and doing stuff like that with Jake Paul and what's the other guy's name?
Nate Robinson, the former guard from
Yeah,
the
those
Knicks.
kind of freak shows. I'm okay with that. But now we are crossing over into a mainstream sport, right? a boxer like Floyd Mayweather, there is absolutely no chance. No chance. If I could, I should have programmed that soundbite from Vince McMahon say no chance in hell because there is zero competitiveness between Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. There's skill level there. Logan Paul's a high school wrestler. He's put some boxing fights on there. I applaud him for some of the stuff. He doesn't look great when he's boxing, but hey, it's against other YouTubers, so it is what it is. You bring a fan base, cool. I'm good with it. You bringing that fan base. But if you're expecting the YouTuber fan base to come versus a combat sports fan base, you want to talk about the ultimate clash? I really think that the clash between real traditional combat sports fans versus YouTuber sports fans, there's going to be a clash between those two. Those two fan groups don't go together, Sean. There was a lot of debate and a lot of talk about the YouTubers on DAZN, remember?
Yep.
They made Matchbox Room a lot of money. They made DAZN a lot of money. So there was a place for that. This expedition fight, what are we trying to do here? You were Floyd Mayweather to some, not to me, and that could be a different debate. One of the greatest fighters of all time. You're willing to put your pedigree, your name on a YouTuber? I don't care if it's an expedition fight.
Right.
You're willing to take your name and put it on a YouTuber. All I got to say is there better be some damn good money involved in that. Because there ain't no way you could get me or anybody to slap a name on a YouTuber unless that dollar sign keeps going like 7 figures down the line. If I'm Floyd.
Floyd's got to be like, dude, I get paid over $1 million
Right?
for slapping a YouTuber? Game on.
Where do I sign on that dotted line again? Here? To slap around a YouTuber for what? Oh, cool. Six rounds? You got it. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Right?
And on that note, we'll be right back after this break.
Absolutely. We're the New Cross Brothers Sports Warriors. We are the New Cross Brothers, the Sports Warriors. Sean and Tristan New Cross, where they cross the line every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You want a new, something different combat sports talk show? Then we are your combat sports talk show. We're the New Cross Brothers every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sportscaster. All right, couple things before we get started into our UFC Vegas 11 preview. Shout out to our sponsor right above me. I Love Auntie. The thing that keeps falling, right? Right here. I Love Auntie. Go to iloveauntie.com for all your CBD needs, from muscle rub, lip balm to the tinctures. Use promo code DuCrossBros and save yourself 10%. I Love Auntie. This is what you need right here. Go to our Facebook fan page, /The DuCrossBros, and you can get a break on your subscription for ESPN Plus. Click the pin link at the top, and it'll save you on the subscription. If you don't have ESPN Plus, I don't know what you're doing. You're missing out on some boxing, UFC, football, you name it. Everything's on there. 30 for 30. They got you covered. You need to have that in your life if you're a sports fan. Just saying. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. But in the meantime, you watch us right here on Sportscaster. Your boys, Sean and Tristan Ducross, the Sports Warriors. We cross that line every Wednesday. Tonight, special night. So thank you for the people that are tuning into us. But UFC Vegas 11, it's upon us. Headlined by some polarizing figures, if you ask me. Colby Covington versus Tyrone Woodley. Both very, very political figures are fighting each other. One made an incredible statement at weigh-ins, and one had a smug look on his face.
I was looking at this fight. I watched the weigh-ins. I watched the little presser that they did. Jesus, Murphy, this was uncomfortable on so many facets, and
Yes.
I was trying to figure it out in my head, like, how is this not going to be uncomfortable? Like, you have Colby Covington that says, I'm friends with the Don, you know, I'm Team MAGA, and Tyrone Woodley is something else. They go on Instagram and they call Tyrone Woodley a freaking terrorist. All this other nonsense. And it was just like, okay, see, we're in this era of being offended or not being offended. You're easily one side and, ooh, that hurts my feelings. My bad. I'm so sorry. Don't say this. Don't do that. But yet, you have Colby Covington, who's treading the waters right now on the side of the spectrum of, dude, you're going way too far. At least when Conor McGregor...
We in this world,
hold
Sean.
on. At least when Conor McGregor went off his deep end,
Yeah.
and he attacked Khabib's father and them and stuff like that, okay. But the fact that you've got the social injustice right now that you got going on between the African-American community and the white community right now, the severity of this situation, the political stance in what this is right now, you are risking a ton by putting these two polarizing figures right now in the limelight, knowing what you're going to get with Colby Covington. You know that he's going to push the envelope that teeters the line of...
The two fan bases, Sean, are telling you exactly what you are saying.
You know, you're very lucky right now that this fight is not in the public eye.
100%.
If this fight was in the public eye
With fans,
you would be seeing 10 times worse chaos than what you saw when Khabib and Conor McGregor took center stage.
because of Colby's
just
fan
saying.
base and Tyrone Woodley's fan base.
Absolutely. Tyrone Woodley has gone on record before saying that the thing about fighting in MMA is that I could kill somebody in the cage. He's been known to say that.
And
You're
you
putting him in a fight
in a very uncomfortable fight
situation where he has legitimate disdain
for the other
Colby
man.
Covington.
Yeah. And if this is all you say at a press conference, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. To every question, and then you stand at the weigh-in, you don't say anything. You don't look at Dana White. You don't care about what's going on.
He just gave the coldest death stare
At Colby.
to Covington that I've ever seen.
How do you think this fight even goes? Because we're talking about Tyrone Woodley, who got annihilated by Gilbert Burns. We're talking about Colby Covington, who needs to basically win this fight to stay in contention. And you are talking about two figures that are on left and right political, like basically politics sides. And This is where I keep telling everybody.
No, Tristan, he got beat up by Usman, not Burns. He doesn't even know who Burns is. If you listen to his post-fight, his pre-fight, you said Covington got beat up by Burns.
Tyrone Woodley got beat up by Burns.
Because I heard Covington.
No. Burns beat up Woodley. And then I was going into Covington about him losing in a bad way, too. But still, like, I'm so sick and tired, Sean, of this left-right. Why do we have to continuously put two people, or in this world in general, why we constantly have to pick sides?
And we never had to pick sides
as much as we have to do now. It's like, seriously.
In the last 5 years. You have to pick a side, and there's no in between.
Pick a side.
I want to be the middle person. Even though we're good at picking one side and then sticking to it, I want to be the middle. I want to be the one that says, you know what? Let's keep it clean. Let's keep it the way that it needs to be. But we're not even talking about the fight. We're not even talking about previewing the fight. We're talking about the
social
political
issues,
the political
that both
background.
these people stand for.
Like, Jesus, Murphy. Why can't we just talk about that? Colby Covington
so let's talk about it.
Is a legit troublemaker for Tyrone Woodley. He's got the pace. He's got the endurance.
The output that this guy can put together is ridiculous.
Absolutely. Tyrone Woodley's got to get the fight to the ground. He doesn't want to stand there and throw with Colby Covington in this fight. And if you look at it, you look at Tyrone Woodley, he's lost 2 in a row.
Yes.
Tyrone Woodley needs to come with his A game.
Because if he goes down 0-3 in his last 3 fights,
yeah,
there's nothing left for him, Sean.
And then where does he go?
Exactly. Into gatekeeper mode.
Yeah, but do we even see him again?
I don't think so. You drop 0-3, I don't see the possibility of us seeing a fight where he needs to be at the top of the food chain.
And then you got to wonder
But that pushes Colby Covington right back to relevancy again in the division.
And then he's waiting in the wings for Usman versus Burns.
Right.
Because ain't nobody else there right now.
No.
So you're looking at this as almost...
Colby Covington wins. He stays relevant.
Yep.
Tyrone Woodley loses, and his career is suspect at this point.
Absolutely.
Like, what's left?
Like, it was asked to him, Covington, it was asked to him, it's like, so what happens if he loses? What happens to his legacy? He's like, what about it? Does nothing to me. He couldn't be more right. I don't see how this...
He has to roll back a little bit more.
I don't see how this really hurts him if he loses.
I
just don't want to be...
This becomes a win, a must-win by Tyrone Woodley than it does for Colby.
I just don't want to be in that cage or anywhere near in the vicinity of a live mic with Covington if he wins.
Man, they've been chirping at each other for years on social media, right? Now it all ends and it collides inside this cage. I'm looking forward to this fight. I'm excited for it. Who do you got?
I'm uncomfortable about it.
What? I get it.
I'm just uncomfortable about it. I'm not going to hide from it. It's uncomfortable. Watching the press conferences today, it was uncomfortable.
It happens.
I don't like the state that the world is in. I hate the way that it is.
Yeah.
It bothers me.
Every day.
I try not to talk about politics. I try not to do that because I know that people get easily offended about that topic because it's one thing or another. So I try to stay out of it as much as possible. But I had to say just how awkward it is right now to have this fight knowing what is going on in the world.
What about the...
Just thankful that this bout is happening behind closed doors and not in the general public.
Who do you have, Sean? Who are you going for? Even though it's uncomfortable and it makes you feel all weird inside of your gut, who are you going with?
Covington. Covington.
I can't.
You told me not to go political bias.
I'm not going political.
But you are. Because you really think that Woodley has it in his tank to beat him.
Because I just don't like Colby Covington. Like, if the thing that's in my head right now is like, pick a side, but yet I don't want to pick a side, but I'm seriously, that's one guy that despite all his tools and all the possibilities that this guy could be a world champion, his mouth and everything that he stands for goes against everything of mine. And therefore, I cannot pick Covington. I will not stand beside Colby Covington. I'm going Tyrone Woodley. Because I also view that Tyrone Woodley needs this fight more
But see,
than Covington.
You're saying it right there. You're going against Covington because of your views.
Yes, that's what I said. Because my mind is telling me pick a side. My mind is telling me I do not care.
But you told me to keep the political views out of it.
Yeah, because you can. You can. I said you. You. I didn't say me.
So why do I have to keep my political views out of this?
Because I'm the older brother, I tell you.
That ain't how this works.
100% that's how it works.
No.
Did you not just pick Covington?
Because you told me not to go off of my political views.
I win.
I'm going off of what you think is going to happen.
I win. It's okay, sure. I win.
You're lucky we're on air right now because I would slap you silly.
My brother doesn't.
Slap you such a head.
My brother doesn't like to be hugged. Should I hug him?
If you hug me on the air, then we better get a donation.
Hey, somebody donate and I'll give my brother a hug right now on the air. Hit the donate button and I'll hug my brother live on air right now for me getting him to pick Colby Covington and not saying that I had to.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen. Nobody's going to side you with on that one.
They should. Hit the donate button.
But what is going to happen right now with Donald Cerrone versus Nico Price? That's the
Donald
Cerrone
Cerrone's in a state of decline.
State of emergency.
Yes.
1 in 4 in the last 5, all suffered knockouts. 3 of the last
The National Guard needs to be called at this point.
Yo, stop fighting, homie. Stop fighting.
I know you love fighting. I know that it's in your DNA. I know it is. I thought for a second that Donald Cerrone would be able to kind of put his career back into motion when he had his kid, right? It looked like he was a new Donald Cerrone. It looked like that this guy was going to be able to finally put it together.
The infamous shoulder shrugs.
Right. Destroyed by shoulder shrugs.
If there's a worse fight for Donald Cerrone right now in this moment,
it's Nico.
It's Nico. Because literally you're looking at the same style fighter. They're going to stand and bang and
Nico
throw.
Price, though, has more power in his hands.
Right now, yeah. Even though his face got messed up last time. And it became a meme.
It doesn't matter. Dude, so he made a meme of Donald Cerrone's face.
That's true.
Dude, I had to look at it. I was like, dude, why Nico? I was like, oh, I got it. You got a puffed up blowfish.
But yeah, so you're looking at this, it's like Donald Cerrone, I'm so sorry. I like you. I genuinely think you're probably a chill dude. But this is one fight I do not see in him going in favor. So it's like you look into the riding in the sunset. Remember Jason Allen, the former defensive end, who literally for the Minnesota Vikings got on his horse and rode off into the sunset
with his cowboy hat.
Literally. That's what Donald Cerrone should do.
But wouldn't he do it on a jet ski?
No, he's a country boy.
With a bud?
His own ranch is called the BMF Ranch. So, legitimately, just take your horse, take your Budweiser, and just ride off on the sunset. Because you're going to go 1 in 5.
Instead of a nail in the coffin, How about he shoots a deer? And that's how he announces his retirement.
You know, Nico Price, when he probably saw this fight, was probably looking down the sight and seeing a deer off in the head side, in his hindsight, and saying, "Ooh, I need to put that deer out to pasture right now." And lo and behold,
Put him down.
It was Donald Cerrone.
Yep, put him down.
I'm surprised nobody's made a meme with a head of Donald Cerrone on a deer off in the sunset with Nico Price.
Headshot.
Watch, if that happens, somebody's gonna make that as a meme. I'm just gonna call it now. Fight book. If something goes down and Nico Price knocks out Donald Cerrone, somebody's gonna make a meme of a deer with Donald Cerrone's head on it. I'm just saying, somebody's gonna do it.
And one of these shows, I swear to you, Sean, if I see Johnny Walker's name on it one more time, I'm going to get a bottle of Johnny Walker for every single time I see Johnny Walker's name. Because every single time I see Johnny Walker, I immediately think I want a rusty nail.
But like, you know it, we're on it. I was like, all right, then we're going to get tagged in that one. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I thought Johnny Walker, I was like, rusty nail.
Right, because he's going to be rusty whenever he comes back.
He's going against Ryan Spann. That's going to be a good fight.
I thought that fight got pulled.
Did it get pulled?
I'm pretty sure.
There's so many fights that I swear gets pulled and pushed around. How many times is Glover Teixeira's fight going to get pulled? That guy, this fight that was supposed to happen, Glover Teixeira's fight.
Oh, no, it's still going.
Okay, see? But Glover's got pulled again for the second time. Stupid COVID. How many? I feel bad for Glover, though, because every single time he gets ready for a fight, it's like, nope, we're pulling you. Why? COVID-19. Fail. Gone. Mackenzie Dern's on this card against Ronda Marks. That should be a good fight.
Really?
Mama Dern?
Really, Mama Dern is going to pull off another submission victory. Ronda Marcos is going to go back into wherever she was recently.
Where did you hear Mama Dern from first? The Duke Cross Brothers Sports Warriors. Owning that right now, Mama Dern. She's not known as Mackenzie Dern. It's Mama Dern.
Mama Dern.
We will go with Mama Dern.
But, dude, Kevin Holland is on this fight card again.
Yeah.
This guy's fighting like every month. If he stays healthy, this guy's literally fighting every month.
Don't get into the way. Donald Cerrone has fought, what, 5 times in 18 months? Like, that's crazy.
It's like, my goodness.
Sometimes your body just needs to chill out and relax a little bit. Like, I know we're in a pandemic. I know people hate staying at home. I get it. But, man, you got to let your body rest just a little bit. Just a little bit. A little bit, please. Please.
Just a tad.
Just a tad bit.
And then when we come back from this break, we've also got none other than Conor McGregor makes the headlines again. Dope. Where's
Homer Simpson when I need it? Dope.
We'll be right back. We are the DeCross Brothers here on Sportscaster. We're live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You're looking for an alternative combat sports talk show? We are your boys right here, ripping the headlines, giving the spins, giving you different takes live every Wednesday. Check us out. Hit that subscribe button. Follow us. Whatever you guys want to do, check us out.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the Cross Brothers Sports Warriors. Crossing that line every Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tristan Ducross, Sean Ducross, right here. That's who we are. Down here is where you can find us. Right up here, you can get some CBD oils and such at iloveanti.com. Use promo code DucrossBros, save 10%. You can also get a break in your subscription if you go click our pin link on our Facebook, facebook.com/the Ducross Bros, and you can get a break on ESPN Plus. In the meantime, we are the Ducross Brothers Sports Warriors. Sean, wrapping up the bottom half of our show. Incredible show. We've talked about Michael Chandler, about where we see him kind of in the UFC rankings. Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul. Why? UFC Vegas 11 preview. Colby Covington. Tyrone Woodley. You got Colby Covington because I spun you that way. I get Tyrone Woodley because of my views.
And if you donate, apparently Tristan will give me a hug.
Yes.
And I can't do anything about it.
Nope.
But I hate getting hugs from my own brother.
You want to see him be uncomfortable live on camera? Go ahead. Donate.
So let's not do that.
Yes, let's do that. Donate. No. Click the donate button. Donate right now.
And yes, it is Friday. I know I said Wednesday during the commercial because, I want people on Friday to know we're on Wednesdays normally.
Yes.
Tonight was a special edition because we didn't do our show on Wednesday.
Yes, because we had to, as everybody knows, we're kind of in the middle of doing something amazing and something big and stuff like that for the family. We bought our first home, so it's getting closer to us moving and getting that situation taken care of. So a lot of stuff goes into that, which I had no freaking idea about. So every day there's something. Mm-hmm. So that's why we had to just move the show from Wednesday to Friday this week. We will be back in our normal time slot.
But can we just move Conor McGregor into retirement? Officially retirement. Move him from the UFC. Remove him from any type of famous database. Because quite frankly, I am getting sick and tired of him making headlines for one thing or another. Because he made headlines over the week for sexual
allegations?
Yes.
He flashed the girl.
Like what?
But it's weird because he flashed the girl, but apparently he was in the bathroom. And the girl was walking into the bathroom. Did she go into the wrong bathroom?
Did she follow him into the bathroom?
And then why the witness?
Was he taking a leak?
I don't know.
And she saw and went, "Oh my god!"
And then the witness is the friend of the person that is doing the allegations. That's even sketchier. Why is the only eyewitness that you have is her friend?
That's probably the reason why when he went into the interview with the police, he came back out of it and was like, no charges pressed.
Okay, I'm good.
The whole thing...
Liars won't win.
The whole thing sounded sketchy. But this guy has had a number of sexual assault incidents in the last 3 years that have been reported, and he's gotten away from all of them. And all of them have been shady in terms of what the allegations really are.
The only real one that has stuck out to me, two of them, okay? When he threw the dolly, okay?
Yep.
Threw the dolly. And then the one where he stole the cell phone in Las Vegas and broke it because somebody wanted to take a photo. Other than that, everything else has fallen flat.
You know,
the issues that have been in Ireland, he even smacked an old guy in a bar, and that was kind of video, and that was pushed aside.
Like Dana White said, it's like he didn't realize how. This is what's interesting. When Dana White says, "You have no idea how big Conor McGregor really is until you actually go out with Conor McGregor." And then you find out just how big he is and how many people legitimately stop what they're doing and freak out because they see Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor is like
a rock star. Yes.
Like Paul McCartney walking down the road. And everybody go, "Oh my God."
Regardless if you want to admit it or not, and everybody has their opinion on the guy. He is the man that has done a lot for the sport, good and bad. However you want to look at it. Either way, Sean, his name will always be out there. People will always try to do something to get to extort money or whatever. It will always be there. Why? Because he's a celebrity.
A celebrity with enormous star power.
Yeah. So if anytime you can kind of poke the bear, it's going to happen.
And when you're that big of a star,
yeah,
and you're constantly being surrounded by people, by paparazzi, whatever it is.
You're on watch basically 24/7, 365 days of the year.
Somebody is going to try to get you slipping.
Yeah.
Or going to try to spin something and look like a tabloid article to get you
clickbait.
Yeah. That's where we're at with the level, I think, of Conor McGregor is if he gets himself in a situation where, even if he's not in a situation, but he's around
a situation that could potentially turn into something.
They're going to make it a situation.
Let's make a headline and let's get something going here.
And and I'm going to say that
it's just unfortunate.
That's
really
the way it is, because I'm not going to be one of the guys that says, you know what? Oh, there's no factual evidence whatsoever about any of his allegations, except for the chucking of the dolly, the fact that he punched an old man, the fact that he broke a phone. Those are all video evidence of everything.
Everything else has been just a lot of hearsay.
Yes. He said, she said.
Until something, a case is brought forth and put into a courtroom,
then we'll rip it.
Right, absolutely. But until something is 100% concrete, undeniable, undisputed.
This is just another he said, she said.
Right. Because he's just more clickbait so people can continue to do what they need to do.
That was somebody just following Conor McGregor, stalking Conor McGregor into a restroom and went, oh my God. That's where we're at.
You will never 100% know.
But speak about oh my God. Bare Knuckle fighting championship.
Right.
I think it was 11.
Oh my God. I told you,
There's
John.
only one bout that I wanted to really touch on real quick.
I told you.
Kendall Grove versus Hector Lombard.
Told you that was going to be bad.
Kendall Grove.
The minute I saw Hector Lombard and I saw Kendall Grove, I looked at you and said, well, this is over. And you're like, well, why? It's Kendall Grove. Sean. It's Hector Lombard. He was like built for Bkfc.
And he was getting inside that pocket looking like a mini Tyson.
Yeah, he did. He did look like a little mini Mike Tyson.
It was like, woo. And then getting
overhand right kept cracking him.
The left.
Yeah.
The lunging left hook. Looked like Jeff left hook Lacey. Lunging with that left hook.
David Tua.
So that was interesting. But it's like Kendall Grove needs to just bow out. And yes, it gets to my other point about the headline that I'm waiting for Bare Knuckle to officially announce themselves.
Yep.
But Frank Mir has signed with Bare Knuckle, and I was like, why? There's other heavyweights that are out there that I would rather see in Bare Knuckle than Frank Mir. And here's why. I like Frank Mir. I've always thought Frank Mir was a world-class mixed martial artist.
He was the
Brock Lesnar before the Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
He was a ground guy before for a heavyweight that shouldn't be doing the things that he was doing. Before his accident, he was the best heavyweight perhaps in the world. And that may not just be me sugarcoating. But the Frank Mir that we've gotten for the last 7 years or so has not been the Frank Mir that we've all grown accustomed to. Because check this out. I was like, Frank Mir, how does it make sense for a guy that in his last fight, he went to a decision against Roy Nelson. Okay?
Roy Nelson.
That was his last victory. Other than that, prior to that, he suffered 3 knockouts. In one, let me put this in perspective as to how him being in bare knuckle doesn't make sense. Ready for it?
Go for it.
Fight book, ready for it? So, Frank Mir, in his last fight before Roy Nelson, suffered a TKO loss to Javi Ayala. Let that sink in. No offense to Javi. He submitted to Javi via strikes. If he can't take a punch
At this point of his career.
in mixed martial arts, at what point can he take a shot in bare knuckle? If he got knocked out in the last 2 prior to Javi, how can he take a shot in bare knuckle?
Absolutely agree with that.
He was knocked out 3 times, a TKO and 2 legitimate knockouts.
And the
Before he won a decision against Roy Nelson. How in God's green earth is he going to take a shot in bare knuckle?
against the bad guys that are in that heavyweight division.
You'd almost stand a better shot that if Mark Hunt was available to get Mark Hunt.
That would be interesting to have Mark Hunt in bare knuckle. That I would be interested to see.
Watch Mark Hunt do his walk-offs. I'm out.
I just Mir in bare knuckle. Just because he looks like he could be a bare knuckle fighter doesn't mean he can be a bare knuckle fighter.
This is about
There's
as
a Sean.
shit-
I
this is
I
about
looked
as,
at you.
This is
and-
about as weird
Right.
as Paige Van Zandt going to bare knuckle.
Yes, I looked at you when I saw the Hector Lombard and I saw the Conor McGregor. I mean, not the Conor McGregor, the Kendall Grove fight. And I looked at you and I said, "Look at this. Both fighters. One looks like he's a BKFC fighter. One looks like pretend fighter." And lately, we've been hearing a lot about that kind of acronym going around. That saying that's going around is that in professional wrestling, you are a pretend wrestler. McAfee has been labeled as a pretend wrestler. There's fighters that are coming across that may no longer get a look in UFC and Bellator MMA, but yet they still want to hold on to some kind of hope that they can still fight. But bare knuckle is not their place. And I looked at Kendall Grove and I was like, dude, this guy's a fighter. Don't get me wrong. He was once thought highly of, but he did not look like a bare knuckle fighter. And when he kept getting cracked over and over by Hector Lombard, it showed that.
He turtled.
When you look at what is going to happen to Frank Mir, I think along the same lines.
Of Kendall Grove,
You
absolutely.
look like you're a fighter. You look like you could be the bad guy.
CM Punk thought he was a fighter. Yeah, that's a good
Yes,
point.
exactly. So now you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
There's plenty of guys that think they are tough, but they're fake tough.
It's like the guys with the muscles, and there's some of them were fake muscles.
Yes.
That saying goes around for fighters too.
CrossFit tough. We are looking in a transitional sport right now that it's fighters that are still trying to hold on to that brass ring, trying to hold on for every hope that they have of their glory days, but they're going into a new platform, and it's just not going to be there. It's not. Sad, but it's the reality.
So it's like, not to take anything away from David Feldman. David Feldman's done fun. That guy, man, he brought bare knuckle from nothing to something. He's a genius in terms of finding a niche in a sport and finding fighters that are compatible with his style.
And you mentioned Paige Van Zandt.
Yeah.
I think, and as weird as this is, and I've been thinking about this. This girl is weird. I honestly think that she might have a screw loose. And I say that, Sean, because I've seen her get, like, just her crimson mask, right? Get destroyed. I don't know why, but I could see her not being fake tough or CrossFit tough. I see her actually being tougher than Frank Mir, stepping inside that circle.
I was just going to say the same thing. You
and
gotta have
willing
some type
to
of
put
crazy built inside.
Yes, And for some odd reason, I think there's something just a little bit off in Paige Van Zandt. Like, this girl was a dancer, a modeler, a social media goddess. Yeah, she likes to get her face punched in. I think there's something just a little bit off. Like, seriously, she's like the Harley Quinn of MMA. Harley Quinn's cute, don't get me wrong. She's just a slight little bit of crazy. Unfortunately, I think that's exactly where Paige Van Zandt slides in. She's just a little bit of that crazy.
I hope you're right, but I still think she's going to get beat up pretty bad.
We'll just get more pictures and more memes of her face being a crimson mask.
But you know who we're going to get more photos of in the near future is Halle Berry makes her directing debut for her movie that she went ahead and produced herself and directed called Bruised. And Netflix, when they saw it at the International Film Festival in Toronto, bought it for $20 million.
Not even before the audiences got to see it. They walked in there Saturday, saw it before anybody, and they're like, $20 million. Give me it. Wait, what? $20 million. Nobody's going to see this picture.
Now it's going to be on Netflix.
We're going to take it. We'll give you $20 million to you on Netflix.
And this film features a co-star of Valentina Shevchenko. And when I was reading about the plot storyline that she did for this,
it's interesting.
It sounds like an MMA version of Rocky.
Will be interesting. No doubt. No doubt. I cannot wait for it to show up on Netflix.
And that was the best way I could describe it. The MMA version of Rocky. An underdog story of an aging fighter that is on her way out, looking for that next moment, if you will. It's going to be interesting. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised by it because it did really well at the International Film Festival in Toronto. So it's going to be interesting. But, man, $20 million. Good job, Halle Berry.
Right? So that's why I said congratulations.
Like, I win. No donation for the hug. I don't get a hug. I don't get a hug. You guys have a great night. We'll see you next week.
We're the Ducross Brothers Sports Warriors. Tristan Ducross, Sean Ducross. Thank you guys for tuning in to us. Love you guys.
Check us out next week. Back on our normal time of Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hit that follow button here on Sportscaster to stay updated when our next show goes live.
Yep. Until next time, we're out of here.
Let's get it on! Sprawl and brawl, ground and pound. Get ready for an MMA showdown. Now the ultimate Octagon Insider, Sean and Tristan Ducross.